Throughout this series, we learned Davohnte Morgan's family and the Mount Shasta Police Department both acknowledge that his disappearance is suspicious and the girlfriend knows more to the story than we're being told. Our X1 Media investigation, along with anonymous tips, may support those claims. Again, we want to clarify that Davonte's girlfriend, as mentioned in previous episodes, remains a person of interest and is not a suspect according to the Mount Shasta Police Department. Therefore, she and others that may be tied to this case are innocent until proven guilty. I do want to warn our audience that the details in this episode may be disturbing. When y'all were going up through Mount Shasta, what was the energy like there? And then how have you been communicating with Mount Shasta Police?
So my personal experience, me, Terry by herself, I have not experienced any racism or negativity or anything like that until later on, till like our last couple of trips up there. But others, on the other hand, they saw Confederate flags. Somebody threw a deer foot at my cousin's head.
That's why we were so passionate about getting that police assistance, because we weren't familiar with that area and we were scared, you know. That is a town that I think is 1% Black population. So you got to imagine going on somebody's property, knocking on their door. We're scared for our lives, and we were threatened a lot. We were told to get out of here before we got shot. There were jokes made about what could have possibly happened to my brother Davohnte. You know, someone even said, okay, if we find him, we're gonna, you know, we'll tie him up and keep him, you know, like it was a joke or something. And it was, to us, it was like a movie. You know, we see this kind of thing all the time, but when you're there and you're actually searching through the woods and you see a pile of leaves and your heart drops, because when you move those leaves, you're afraid that that's your loved one. You know, we shouldn't have had to do all of that on our own. We should have had the professional help to go out there and get those answers.
Or have they been helpful at all?
None.
No,
Nope.
Ever since I'd say a few months into the investigation, they changed the lead lieutenant, and then I stopped getting updates. I would request daily or weekly updates. I would email them. I would have everyone email them, call, and get an update, because being that my number was the first number on the flyer, before we had an official flyer, I got a lot of messages and calls about leads. So every time I got a lead, I would communicate that with Mount Shasta Police Department. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, something like that, or just laugh it off, or really not take it seriously. So me and my cousins and my family would go follow those leads, you know, and some of them, if we had that police presence, probably would have went further. And some of them never got followed up on, because with our resources, there's only so much that we can do. So definitely there is no communication at this point. We have not got an update. They were audited, but in the last 2 years, I would say, we have not got an update. We have not got a phone call, a letter, or anything from Mount Shasta.
Terry hired a private investigator to help with the case. Davonte's family also went up to Mount Shasta on May 8th, 2020. That's one day after Davonte's girlfriend reported him missing and 3 days after he was last seen. His cousin shared this video of them speaking with the girlfriend at the motel her and Davohnte stayed at.
We don't know nobody out here.
You didn't see him interact with
No. When we came on the 4th, he was with me the whole time. When we were here on Monday, he was with me the whole time. He wasn't with anybody else.
Good.
He wasn't with anybody else. He was with me the entire time. The entire time up until 5 at 9:30, until he walked down. Then when he was probably out and about, that's when at the end of the night, somebody probably saw him. We get a sense that he may like have frequented or be with a person that is like in the dark places of Shasta. So we gotta.
What are the dark
What made you
places?
think that?
Just the people that car that he's hanging around with, possibly.
What car?
Just the RV. Yeah, just the RV that he's in or possibly befriended by. We don't know if the person that he's with.
Is it like a spiritual
What is
type
he-
of thing?
What is he
Because-
using?
Oh.
So who is the person that he's with?
We don't know. The mediums are just sensing that he's with a person that he's befriended or they befriended,
So-
and they're both using together. Like it could just be,
A binge or something.
yeah.
So is that the information the police have?
No, this is
Oh.
my mediumship.
Oh.
So the police is just boots on the ground, not getting surveillance, not doing. They're just doing the minimal.
Also coming out of one of the rooms is a man who the girlfriend says helps with search and rescues.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back up to that lake, man. I was up there last night, and I've heard a lot of things about it, and I have a good feeling. I've done these search parties before. I think we can find him. I have his face memorized in my head. I remember the day I got here, I was looking down because I was like really like, I was kind of sad, and I was just looking down at the ground. His 49ers, his sandals, were they like the Jordan-esque ones, the ones with the logo on the top? I saw those. I saw those on the first day I came here, and that was Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
You guys have to realize something.
You saw them where?
Depending
In
on
a
if you
vision?
went if you went up a hill, there's so many factors that we have to play in because I don't know this area. I've studied the maps. I've studied everything about them. That's my biggest clue right now is Castle Lake. That's the only clue I have right now. I met her yesterday. Yeah, I don't really know her, but like I've conducted these parties before, so I want to help.
I feel it's enough evidence to get her on something if they watch all her videos. You know, all that they claim they were watching. They told us she had 18 social media accounts, and they were watching closely. No way are they watching closely because pretty much she's contradicting herself.
They know all of our whereabouts.
No way.
We'll meet her.
In another
At every
video that the
single
girlfriend
stop.
posted on her social media account, she recorded a conversation with someone who seemingly details their involvement in Davohnte's disappearance.
What are you trying to help me with? You know what I can't figure out was how
on the situation.
how
you put yourself in with Davohnte.
how did you when did you first sell your soul to the devil?
When I met you,
No, your soul was sold to the devil way before you met me. So when was the first time? You probably sold your soul.
no, when I met you,
Oh, when was the
when I
first
met
time with
you,
that?
and we tried to, when I met you, and we went and hid Davohnte's phone and stuff, yeah, that's when I sold myself to the devil. When I was trying to help you out to cover up some,
And what day was that?
what night was that?
I don't
Help
know.
you
What
at?
night was that?
We had to cover up a whole bunch of man.
What covering up?
And we was driving for a few hours.
Yeah, I have my Google timeline, and so does the Department of Justice.
There is concern because her story was they got into an argument and she last saw him walking down the boulevard, which we can see on videotape clearly, him walking down the boulevard. But then after several days where he just disappears, talking to his brother and his family, this is not Davohnte. So something is not matching in that timeline. I do believe that she, and I do believe that there might be a few others, know what happened and they just are not speaking right now.
Next on part 4 of Finding Davohnte, the final episode.
This is definitely our biggest case. I mean, I've had attempted homicides that were not even as thick as this.
At this moment, I think we need a lot of help.
Definitely had a lot of leads, especially in the last year. We probably had quite a few good leads.
They didn't bring us anything that we didn't already know. Nothing.
It's not a closed case. It's always going to be open.
What would be your message to Davonte's family right now?
Please help us find my son. You know, what if it was your child?